there's a big difference between me playing just the right hand louder or playing it piano but zoomed in. There is such a big difference in the quality of the tone, because you can hear that the color is still piano, because dynamics also have a color, and the color is still gentle piano, but it's sort of more vibrant. Because when you do, let's say, a forte, the vibration goes, the frequency goes much more often, and so it becomes more dense, it's less gentle, and it's a different color. You see, this thing is a very crucial to understand. Voicing is not playing louder or imagining anything louder. But if there is no different dynamics for the hands as written, then you imagining everything in the dynamics, and then when you add layer of voicing, you zooming in into pianissima to make the voicing. You're not changing pianissimo to mezzo piano. Even in the end, it might sound like that. It might sound that you're playing mezzo piano, but the color would be different. The absence of ability to imagine voicing in your mind will result in, like you said, feeling that the texture of the piece of your playing is very dense, that maybe the melody is not brought up enough. Usually, we ourselves don't notice that until the teacher would point on that. Make the melody higher, let it sing, imagine it soaring in the sky, or let's find some melody in this chorus, find interesting voicing here, or if we need to play fugue, our theme is not prominent, etc. So if the teacher is pointing on the absence of voicing, then if we try to focus it without clear imagination, but just with compulsive tension, it's going to bring more tension to the hand, it's going to affect in the touch, and going to result in a bad sound. And the same way also, if we're not imagining, even if we try to imagine voicing, but we're not imagining in the most efficient way, like for example, again, shrinking the sound, because usually when we think about making something more clear, we would imagine making it a little bit sharper in our mind, instinctively. But it's not necessarily that way, because if you try to make it sharper, then again you sort of shrink, you compress the sound in your mind, and you can imagine it's a little bit like sharper creates a feeling of like a knife, again creates tension, and here the touch will have a little bit of punching, and the tone will not be nice. So the way to imagine it correctly is to keep the size, to keep the sound movement at the end, so we avoid vertically touching the voicing, the melody. And my best analogy was to really zoom in into the sound. I tried so many, even with the rooms I tried. I think I wrote the book many years ago when I still was thinking, what if I try to imagine myself closer to the sound, or imagine the sound closer to me, let's say in the same room, or and the accompaniment on the background in other rooms. And I found it's a little bit not exact explanation that would convey what I'm doing exactly in my mind. What I'm actually doing is, let's say I'm imagining the whole texture, imagining in sound texture, in harmony color, in a certain dynamics, let's say it's forte. And then I'm taking the melody that I'm imagining in forte and in that harmony color, and I'm just sort of really zooming in like you would do in the computer, and it's really feeling like I am immersing myself in the texture and the liquid texture and the color of the harmony and the dynamics, but it so gets saturated because I'm so zooming into it that it's just so vibrant. And the vibrant is the word that you want to look for, not sharper, not more clear, like I was told when I studied in Russia, make it more clear voicing. That is not a good word. Vibrant, saturated, this is what you want to go for. Because the idea is that when you zoom in, it becomes bigger. When you just think
Uh-huh.
saturated, you make the colors brighter, sharper. Again, it's not exactly the
Uh-huh.
definition I'm looking for, but zooming in, it implies that the voicing part, the melody, the note that you want to voice is in your mind is really becomes bigger, and the sound movement is bigger, and all the colors of harmony dynamics also become more vibrant, you know?
Mhm.
So that way it worked for me. Like if you want to play the trill, to make a really beautiful, elegant, delicate trill, you don't want to voice the whole ornamentation inside. You only want to voice the exit, the first couple of notes, the entrance, the first couple of notes, and the exit, the first 3 to 5 notes. Then it's nice. So instead of, you know, you go on, and it's sort of more elegant, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
in that way. Especially in Chopin and nocturnes, you have that a lot. That way you escape to have those bumblebees on inside your trill. Blah, 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 blah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I have good news for you. With this,
What?
we're finishing sound imagination area at once.
Really?
Everything else is only going to be about nuances of intonation. That's all the layers that you will ever use to create the piece. So when you have harmony, dynamics, and voicing practice, that's exactly what you would copy and paste, only that part, and all the pieces in your entire life.
Oh, I think that I thought it was very
No.
much more.
Sound texture with the texture, harmony color, the colors, dynamics, the intensity, the transparency and intensity, and voicing, the vibrance and zooming in,
Oh.
and
That's
sound
cool.
movement at the end.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and so also again, these 3 things, harmony, dynamics, and voicing, if you look at the practice journal, this is what I do in the second day
Uh-huh.
of learning a new piece. And that usually takes me for 3-5 pages about maybe 2 hours to go through all those layers. Just imagining 2 hands, go and play once. Imagining 2 hands in dynamics, go play once. Imagining 2 hands in voicing, go play once. This is nice. Can you just validate that you're able to imagine both notes in sound texture, in the harmony of C major, in the dynamics of piano, and then you're zooming in with the dynamics of piano and the top note, and then you add sound movement to the both of them. Is that what you were doing?
I'm imagining G is like very close to my ear and the E is like on my iPad.
Try to imagine now them on the same distance to you, but now instead of placing them closer or more far away from you, zoom in with yourself into the world of G and F and E.
But how I can zoom into the G without being distant from the E?
Because in that case, the distant will fade away by itself. You don't have to actively imagine that the lower line is more far away from you. All you need is just to zoom in actively on the main voicing, and then passively the less important melody, the less important line will be a little bit less prominent to you. Just try it in your head and without playing, just tell me how it goes. But it's piano.
Now I understand what you said about vibrant. I feeling the G and the F and the E much more colorful. Like
It's more juicy.
yeah, are more vibrant.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if you rewind this video, the difference between the first and second, both of them you were playing in piano. But the first time, your top voice was in mezzo forte and was more like it had the color of mezzo forte. Now it was both of them and the color of piano, but voicing was present.
Yeah, I felt.
You see the difference?
It's very subtle, but
very subtle. You played in the color of piano, but you zoomed in. And also with your wrist, didn't you feel more soft?
Yeah, much more. Because I was not trying to
make it sharper or closer.
Yeah. Yeah, the closer thing is not good.
Exactly.
Because
creates a bit of tension.
Yeah. When I see they both at the same distance is very natural. So trying to do the bottom.
Let's switch to the bottom. All the layers. Your wrist. Left, right, 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 and then with the swing, left, left, left. And then you can play it endlessly. You can make it on one pedal, and then you go, just try piano. To the left is so much harder. Also very good exercise for the tendons over here. Ooh! You understand. I think this is a good pattern and it's endless loop and you can do it in any dynamics. You can go with crescendo, you can go with diminuendo with that. First in your mind, obviously. But let's try fortissimo. This is interesting. I suggest that with playing with double roll. So we're gonna go with the roll and then either double swing at the end or just another roll. So, okay, let's see. I want to see if I'm lifting my fingers while doing it. Oh, zooming into forte, it's like putting yourself into fire, my goodness. Okay, I'm definitely let go. I'm releasing the key with the first roll. Have you noticed? And if I try to hold to the notes. But I'm definitely having some energy right before playing the note. Here. key on the very first roll or on the second one. It's both are possible. You can still be in the keys while the first roll, and then as soon as you go to the 6 of the second roll or double swing, you can release the key. Just down, and then when you go on top, you let go, and then you go to your rolls. So it's left, right, double swing, and from the top as well. So when you reach A, just swing to the left, and then go to the rolls. Maybe more intonation and resistance between this melody will help as well to control. Definitely, this will help. Try.
Yeah.
More control, yeah.
Much more.
Already.